What up? It's day 11. Welcome to day 11 of this little experiment where I try to get fit in under 15 minutes a day and prove to myself that consistency beats motivation. If you're new here, I'm an engineer. I've optimized processes worth millions of dollars, but somehow couldn't build a habit of moving my own body. So this channel is me testing a simple idea. What if I just showed up every day and did something? Just show up and hit upload. And today's workout is a good example of that. So I started here with a few Sun Salutations. They're basically a warm-up, a mobility session, and put some focus on breathing. But the main importance of them is just showing gratitude to the sun. So because we have life because of the sun, waking up, seeing the sun, getting that morning energy. And these, you don't realize how stiff you are until you try to reach the floor and your hamstrings file a formal complaint. But after doing even a few of these, they make everything feel way better. So I think I'm going to keep incorporating more and more of these into my workout. Now, right after this, we're moving into 2 sets of pull-ups. That's the first exercise. Now, pull-ups are still my anchor movement. Essentially, it's me versus gravity. No excuses. Just gotta grab onto the bar and pull yourself up. Some days I feel strong. Some days I feel like a bag of wet laundry hanging from the bar. Today was somewhere in between. And that's the thing that I keep learning as I'm on this journey, uploading videos and doing my workouts. The progress doesn't really show up as hype. It actually shows up as showing up. If you wait until you're ready, you'll never get started. But if you just hang from the bar, eventually you have to pull, and you pull. So that's the first set of pull-ups there. And now I'm just resting it out a bit. And that was me before, just waiting until I felt ready, or waiting until, wait till Monday to start the week fresh, or, wait till I have this, wait till I've finished this or whatever. And then nothing ever happened. You just got to show up and do the action, no matter how small it is. We're just building that consistency, that habit, and those good habits. So here on the second set, and like I mentioned in my last video, I'm really trying to get into active hang and then pull myself up. As I learned from watching hybrid calisthenics, is that's the way to properly engage your back muscles. So I'm really thinking here about trying to get into an active hang and then pulling myself up. You can see me struggling on the last one. I used some momentum from my legs. Not proper, but hey, we'll take it to get that last rep. So that's the pull exercise done. And again, this workout is really simple. Push, pull legs. Or in my case, pull, squats, push, to ensure that there's a upper, lower, upper, to get some rest for the muscles. Now next up, are the ring hamstring curls or leg curls. These are evil. Every time I do these, I'm like, yo, who invented this? And why do they hate legs? But that's why I like them. They expose weaknesses. Squats, if you think about it, really hide a lot. These don't. Your hamstrings either work or you fall on the floor. And that falling on the floor, that builds character. Now here, as I'm doing these, I was really you have to raise your hips and engage your glutes at the top and then start to pull. So you can see me there always. First step is I was trying to do the hip raise and engage my glutes. And then from there, try to pull. First push with the legs out and then pull with the hamstrings in. And you can really feel like this. You can really feel it in your glutes, your hips, and your hamstrings. But you really have to focus on visualizing the pull from the hamstrings as you're pushing the rings in. So here, as I'm going back into my second set, hip raise, squeeze, and pull. Hip raise, push out, and then squeeze hamstrings, pull. hip raise, push out, squeeze hamstrings, pull. So you really have to try to visualize trying to squeeze those hamstrings and push them in. And you can really feel it in your legs because there's two parts. There's the hamstring part, but then the hip raise and squeeze the glute, that part, you can also find some weaknesses in yourself there. Overall, I think it's a good exercise. Now, my form might be sloppy, but we're working towards that. We're working to improve that. And again, as I mentioned previously, the leg exercise, I am alternating between these hamstring curls and right now narrow squats. So the one day is the frontal legs and the second day is the posterior chain. Now, just adjusting the rings, and we're going to be finishing with ring dips. These are very humbling. They shake, they wobble, they tell you very quickly how much control you actually have. And that's what I'm really loving about rings. They don't let you cheat. Your body either stabilizes or it doesn't. And today I had to fight for a few reps, which means they were probably exactly the reps I needed. I started shaking a little bit on the last few there. And if you look at the bigger picture, this whole channel is one long experiment. I'm not trying to become no fitness influencer. I'm just trying to become someone who keeps promises to himself and can prove to himself that he can be consistent and build a habit, build a lifelong habit, and improve it as you go. That's it. If I can do a few pull-ups, a few leg movements, a few push movements every single day, then maybe, just maybe, I can prove that discipline is a skill and not a personality trait. And it's something that you can build over time. And look, some days I feel amazing. Other days I'm tired or sore or just not in the mood, but I still show up because motivation is unreliable. But routines don't need motivation. So if you're watching this, try to build a habit, drop a comment, tell me what you're working on.